Welcome, bent riders around the world. My name is Gary Solomon, and you're watching the Laid Back Bike Report. I'm so glad to have you all with us today. Let me tell you what we have lined up on today's show. It's a good one. We got a little recumbent news going on that I will relate to you. Honza is busy working on his new house, so we hope to see him next month. We have a couple of segments from the tour that Trey and I took in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. We went to Katanga and then Composite Products, a place where they make obviously composites, fiberglass, carbon fiber, and that sort of thing for a number of manufacturers. So we are going to have a very interesting couple of tours there that we're excited to show you. After that, we have Heiko Truppel, our pal from HP Velotechnik, who is here to share the information about their new announcement about the DeltaTx, their brand new trike that they have announced this past week. So we're happy to show all that to you. And then we're going to take a trip out to Portland, Oregon, and talk to our buddy Mel and his wife Janet Birge, who own Recumbent PDX. We have a really nice profile of that very unique shop, and that I think you guys will find interesting as well. But first, let's quickly show the crew that is working with me today. And there they are out in Colorado Springs. It's Larry Seidman. Hi, Larry.
Hi, Gary.
Larry, of course, doing the directing today. Down in Raymond, Mississippi, it is the aforementioned Trey Bourgoyne, who is handling the media and a few other assorted tasks. I try to trip them up every month. Can't seem to do it. Trey, how you doing today?
I'm awesome. Glad to be here. Howdy, everybody.
Good, good. And then we'll head off to Germany to see Joseph Janning, who we were excited to have join us today to comment on some of the segments, especially those relating to velomobiles and light electric vehicles, which he knows so much about. Joseph, great to have you with us today. And it would be even nicer if we had your voice with us there. You might be, are you muted?
Sorry, I was so obedient and observant to the rules that I have muted myself beyond your capacity to mute me.
You were double muted, but we will not let that happen again, Joseph. Great to have you with us in any case. All right, guys. So quickly, let me just remind you that we have a live chat session on YouTube and Facebook. So please, if you guys would like to participate, we would love that. You can comment, you can ask questions, and you can chat amongst yourselves. And please let us know where you're watching from. We love to find that information out from you. Also, if you want to support the Laid Back Bike Report, you can like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. That always helps us out. And the little white eye up there, it will take you to our website, and you can find lots more about the Laid Back Bike Report right up there. All right, we have some great sponsors that make this show possible. Let me tell you a little bit about them right now. First of all, we have TerraCycle, makers of exquisite recumbent parts and accessories for your bent. Don't just trike, adventure trike. TerraCycle's racks and bags are like having a personal Sherpa, but without the questionable ethics. And Trailside Trikes, a fine recumbent trike shop on the Withlacoochee Trail in Florida and Knoxville, Tennessee. And TerraTrike Green Speed, the best in leisure, performance, adventure, touring, electric, and portability. Wherever your adventure leads, TerraTrike will take you there. and Greenspeed, where Ian Sims designs bring performance through science and engineering. And Laid Back Cycles, the top USA dealer for TerraTrike and the premier source for Catrike, Ice, and Greenspeed. We give you the freedom to ride. And Avenue Trikes, with the gearing you need and the comfort you want, it's time to enjoy riding again. They're in stock, ready to ship, and only $19.95. Dealer inquiries are welcome. And Azub, the first recumbent manufacturer and one of the first bike manufacturers in the world to offer the Shimano Q's electric derailleur for their Steps EP6 and EP801 motors. Step up from a mechanical derailleur, and for a bit more money, you get a larger gear range and automatic shifting. It's just like having an automatic transmission on a car. And Recumbent PDX. With 150 trike inventory, Recumbent PDX is the West Coast's only cat trike megastore. We have over 20 trikes on our showroom floor just waiting for you to test ride through our beautiful Portland neighborhood. Call or email to schedule your test ride today. And EcoCycles, leaders in electric assist and customer support, with a line of specialized conversion kits to retrofit just about any bent model out there. Check them out at cycles.eco right now. All right, guys. So let me tell you a few pieces of news, mostly related to racing, that we have for you. First of all, there is a Trans-America race going on right now you may be aware of. And there were two velomobiles that were the only recumbent bikes that started. First of all, there was Nicholas Bosselman. Now, Nicholas is German, who is a young man, as you see, 22 years of age. And he started out, had some problems, and right now he's towards the back of the pack. Trey, can you pop up that map, and we'll take a look on track leaders and see where he is. We got to get his picture off here. There we go. All right. And so the NB there is Nicholas. You can see he is like just crossing over into Idaho. And if you scroll so that we reduce that map a little bit, Trey, you can kind of get a better view where he is in the pack. There we go. And so, yeah, so there you go. You can see the leaders now are into Colorado, and you can see by the elevation underneath there that the leaders looks like one more major climb to do, and then it's downhill for quite a while. Yep, you can see them right there. Trey is highlighting them. So Nicholas has had a few problems that has kept him from moving up, and he is back there. You can see the NB in green. So I did contact Nicholas while he was on the ride on Wednesday, and he sent this message to me as an update. He said, "Hi, Gary. Yes, I have and still have some issues. I'm riding a prototype I designed, except the aerodynamics, and that was from the great Eggert Bulk, and built it and finished it 1 hour after leaving for the airport. It's looking better now, and I guess tomorrow I will be able to do a nice riding day." That would have been Thursday, so this is a couple of days old. "Today, only 90 kilometers more, but currently working on the brakes and front wheel wells." And so we wish you a lot of luck, Nicholas. We appreciate the effort that you're putting in to get across the country. And Nicholas did tell me that he plans on being at Battle Mountain this year, so we look forward to hopefully seeing him there. The second velomobile was ridden by Stefan Schachmel. He is a man from Luxembourg, 51 years of age, and riding an Alpha 7. But the information I have is that there was some illness involved on really the first day, unfortunately, which kept him from continuing. And so he has scratched. So we hopefully will see Stefan again, maybe on another race. So good luck then to Nicholas, and hopefully see Stefan at another time. All right. Secondly, next weekend, I will be heading up to Michigan to cover the Waterford races. Here's a picture from a previous year. Our friend Mike Mowat is one of the guys that is running this race. And it's an HPV race with a number of different events going Saturday and Sunday. So I'm really excited to head out there, shoot some video, talk to the HPV riders, and see what it's all about. So we will hopefully be bringing you some video on that next month. And lastly, just a quick reminder, we did have Sandy Earl on the show last month talking about her upcoming RAAM ride. She's the only recumbent riding in RAAM this year, the Race Across America. And Sandy will be starting this coming week, I think Tuesday. So best of luck to you, Sandy. We'll be watching you, and hopefully you will do well in RAAM this year. All right, folks, let's get on to our first segment here. As I mentioned earlier, it's about a couple of companies, Katanga and Composite Products. And we're going to start with Katanga, and our pal Stefan Boving, who is the CEO there, was kind enough to show Trey and I around the facility in Brno, Czech Republic. We got to see all the ins and outs of what goes on there. I think you will enjoy learning more about how they make bikes, quads, the WOW velomobile, and their new VM45 light electric vehicle. So, Larry, let's start out with Katanga. All right, guys, we are in the beautiful Czech Republic in the town called Brno, which is the home of Katanga. Katanga makes amazing human-powered vehicles, the pony quads, and of course, they're also known for the WOW velomobile. And today we are so fortunate to have a chance to step inside and talk to the owner, Stefan, about how they make all of these amazing machines. So come on, let's go. Thank you so much for inviting us in today, Stefan.
Thank you. I'm very happy that you can visit us, and this time not virtually, but in real. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you have in store for us today? What do you think we'll be looking at?
Yeah, you will see where we develop the bikes. Mm-hmm. Then you will also see the assembly of the Pony 4. You will see the assembly of the WOW. And you will also see the assembly of the Armadillo, a four-wheel bike of the company Velove.
Well, that sounds great. All right, let's go have a look. We are now up in the offices, and we have a gentleman here with us who's going to help us out. Who do we have here, and what are we going to hear?
Yes, Jan Friedel. He's our product manager in velomobiles. He's very passionate about velomobiles, and he's engineer, so he's working in the research and development.
Yeah, Jan, nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you too.
Good, and so maybe you'll have a chance then to show us around and talk about some development on the computers and some of the things you work on here. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
So, Stefan, amazing devices, half put together and things that you're working on. What do we have here?
Yes, so you know that we are working intensively on the VM45, a velomobile with four wheels, with e-assist till 45 km per hour. We are finalizing this project. This afternoon you will see the producer of the composite parts. We don't have them yet here. And here on this table we assemble all the parts that are coming in. So here you see the rear axle with the differential, cardans, which will power the rear wheels. Here comes the motor and the gearbox. All the parts have now been ordered, and it's a question of days, and they're coming in.
Okay, Jan, so here we're looking at the visualization of the VM45, the work. This is where you do your work. Tell us about what's going on the screen.
As you can see, it's a VM45 in virtual model. So we do a lot of work virtually first, then we, of course, order parts. And this is the CAD program representation, so we can look at all details, all sections. We have here, of course, the composite parts, which you can see. I can switch them on, of course, or off to see what's basically inside, what looks metal parts. On the table, you have seen already a few parts of the rear axle. As you can see here, all assembly. This purple thing is basically Velove FE gear, motor and transmissions. We have here some basic components which we would like to install, like battery, and of course some all parts regarding to transmissions, steering, and let's say bottom bracket attachment. That's what helped us a lot to design all correctly in combination with the composite parts. I can of course show you the basic features which can be seen here. That we have the same philosophy like WOW velomobile. That the front nose, for example, is completely detachable, and we have access to the entrance area, which is quite wide, and also even open on right side to have better access to the seating position. And I have also another rider, small rider, 160.
Oh, I see.
Here, yeah. So that the two positions are for the different riders. That's why we have two seats there. You can see also the handbars under the seat. And I can show you also. I can switch them off. Rear doors, let's say. So this is the access to the trunk, or how to say it simply. And as you can see, we designed also the internal structures quite intensively regarding to composites. I will show some section. It will be probably nice to see also the section that you can see that composites are really how to say it.
Important part,
yeah. And also designed to minimize the number of composite parts used, because this for example is reinforcing the area in the trunk, also the side panels and so on.
We're in the warehouse, yes?
Yeah. We are in upper level, so we have here mostly parts for Pony and WOW velomobile stored, like in pieces, and we prepare them here. Also, some electric components are prepared here for our electric systems. So that's the main goal of this space. Okay, we have here also some parts of Velove stored, and you can see also some trailers, pieces of trailers for P4. And this is the, let's say, electric workshop, electric corner workshop, with, for example, the system where we do the checking of the electric system of each WOW. So each component is tested on our board. And this is a little bit of mess, let's say it, but we have storage of P4 parts here, with some also with VM45 components. We have here a lot of storage for all P4 parts, and we are going further back where we store parts for WOW velomobile in these two boxes. We have here also a 3D printer for doing some prototyping, which is really important for us to really be sure that parts are in good geometry for us.
Do you use 3D printing a lot in these prototypes?
Yeah, but we are a little bit constrained by the size of the printer. But yeah, we work on it. Yeah.
So maybe we can step downstairs and see what's going on down there now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Jan, let's head on downstairs and see what we have here. I almost headed down in a big hurry, yeah.
Yeah. So we have here our main storage area where we store a lot of parts for Velove, but also some parts, for example, raw tubes for the P4 frames and other I would say bulky things, which we don't I would say use very often. Yeah, and also it's in the main packing area, so all P4s and velomobiles are packed here in this space. As our new facility is opening a little bit, 110 kilometers from here, but it's still not available for all storage. So we have here a lot of stuff now, but also we have here composite parts or pre-assembled velomobiles. Next to our is another space. We call it workshop. It's behind this door, so where all the magic happens.
Let's go find some magic. All right, come on. All right.
So here all components are put together by our two main assemblers, Karel and Pepa. Karel is assembling velomobiles and Velove also, and Pepa is assembling mainly the P4s. As you can see now, we have here very nice yellow WOW, production number 630, which will go to Germany.
So if the buyer of WOW 630 is watching this video, here you go.
Yeah,
You can see.
yeah, it's quite far in the process, but still a lot of work to do.
All right.
As you can see, it has roll-off, rear suspension, and I think it will also receive motor, but I'm not sure. Pepa is now assembling P4, short version, as you can see, with the pinion transmission. And as I'm not really into P4 production management, I don't know which version it will be. But assembly process is really much, really like big Lego. Everything must be bolted together. That's a little bit simple way than the WOW velomobile, which is more time-consuming process to process the composites to final assembly.
Okay, we're back with Stefan. He's going to tell us about the Velove platform and some of the prototyping that they're working on.
Yes, Velove is an important customer for us. And it started with just assembly, but lately they see us as a full service partner and we cooperate with development projects with them. And we have tested out for them some transmissions. Some of them are also interesting for our products, so it was a cooperation. Yeah. So on the first prototype, we have the Valeo FE Gear gearbox motor. It's the system that we plan to use on the VM45 too. And we have mounted it in the frame. It has automatic gearing. It has also no freewheel, so regen is possible. And the motor is integrated in a gearbox. The second is a model with a pedal generator. This one is from the company Mando, a Korean automotive company, and with two hub motors in the rear wheels from the company Hijinks. It's commercial available material made by big companies, and it's a very promising technology for B2B bikes because it's very simple, little maintenance, and quite powerful.
Stefan, can you talk a little bit about pedal generators? Not specifically this, but it does simplify things. What are the benefits of a pedal generator in a commercial setting such as this?
In my opinion, the main benefit is that you have very little wear and tear parts because you have no chain, no moving parts. Everything is electric cable. Yeah. So for B2B solutions where you don't want to have, you want to limit maintenance to minimum, I think this is a nice solution. If you want to have a try on it.
Yeah, so that's what I think. Since I actually did ride that bike too, I would like to see what that feels like too. All right, that was some fun riding that stuff, Trey.
Yeah, it was the last.
All right, so let's just talk a bit about what we just saw there. I want to kind of focus on a couple things that Stefan said. First of all, he kept talking about B2B, which, of course, is business to business. So this is a little bit out of the range of what we generally talk about here on the show, but these are recumbent cargo bikes, which are really an interesting concept. And the regenerative bike generator system that I've kind of been on about here for the last couple of months, and we showed a bit of that at Spezi on our Spezi videos. He talked about the version that he had on the Velove, and we rode that as well. So. Trey, you had a chance you were there, obviously, riding that. What did you think about that pedal generator system?
So they mentioned that they wanted to have the, seamless, not having a start-stop feeling, it's like you're pedaling, and it did. I could not tell, some electric motors you ride on recumbents, when you start pedaling, it takes a second for it to engage, and then when you stop pedaling, it takes a second for it to stop. So it's kind of a herky-jerky thing. Not as bad now; it's gotten a lot better, but still, I didn't notice any of that in this bike. It was really impressive, and I think they've done a great job. You can tell a lot of work and effort has gone into designing this and making it work.
Right, and of course, as we've mentioned before, and Stefan mentioned there as well. So one of the big benefits, especially to a company that's got a bunch of these out there, is you want to reduce maintenance cost and make things as simple as possible. No chain, no derailleur. So as long as it works and it's robust enough system, I think that'll be a great system there. Whether it would be something that would be worthwhile in recreational biking, we'll have to wait and see. Joseph, what do you think about what you saw there? Anything you'd like to comment on?
Well, I think it's an extremely interesting and extremely timely extension of the niche. I think the generator system is necessary there for the same reasons that you mentioned, for simplicity, but also you have to have still some sort of pedal type system for regulatory reasons, because the entire regulatory framework for pedaled vehicles is different, and that is what you would want for these vehicles. These are, in a way, super cargo bikes. They can carry much more load than standard cargo bikes, and are a very important element in the transportation chain, in the supply chains from storage houses on the margins of city into the city. In a decade from now, many European cities will make that a requirement, that your last, not just last mile, but your last 10 miles will be zero emission, and that you will have small, versatile, but still capable vehicles to deliver products to stores and shops in the city. And I think that's very important. And there's a big market there, and it's just really beginning with the first real solid products. You know, there are a couple of others out there already, but that looks like a promising new invention.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think Katanga and Velove working together there, that bodes well for them. They seem to be prepared for the oncoming business that you just spoke about. And Mike Smith had mentioned in the chat there about that he'd heard like UPS and DHL we're going to be implementing these things at scale. So very interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, Gary, DHL now is the one company in the world with the largest fleet of electric vehicles already. You know, so they have a huge lineup of all sizes, and they are very keen to move into that segment, but with products that actually then work on a large scale basis. And that's where Stefan has a real good point. You know, these things have to be reliable, nonstop. You know, it's they have to work day in, day out.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Go ahead, Trey. No, sure, of course.
I think that the other thing we have to consider is even though we're talking about a commercial application, you have to consider the old saying is a rising tide raises all boats. So even though this is a commercial directed effort, seeing these on the streets, more people are going to get exposed to recumbents, and they're going to see, you know, these things, and hey, well, maybe now I can ride a recumbent. You know,
yeah. I mean, that's a
reality.
That's a position that people aren't used to seeing, and that will introduce it. I think that's a really good point, Trey. All right, guys, let's move on to the next segment. So we went to Brno, the Czech Republic, visited, as you saw, with Katanga, and Stefan was kind enough to actually set us up for a trip to Slovakia, neighboring Slovakia, maybe an hour and a half away. We drove there with Stefan to a company called Composite Products, where we met the family that runs this. They make a number of composites for Katanga, as you will see, and a number of other bent manufacturers as well. So without saying too much more, I think we'll just jump in there and have a look at Composite Products. Larry? We have moved on from the Czech Republic to Slovakia, and we're at a very interesting place where they make custom composites. What is the name of the place? You say it.
Yes, it's Prievaly.
Oh, okay, yes. Prievaly is the name of the town, a beautiful mountain town here that we've just driven to. And Stefan works with a collaboration with these folks for the composites that he uses in some of the vehicles that we have seen a little bit earlier today. So first of all, this is Alan, yes?
Yes, my name's Alan.
And can you tell me a little bit about your business? When did you start?
We probably 20 years ago.
Okay.
We starting first with the airplanes and make molds for airplanes and master models for airplanes.
So that's the majority of your business, and that's how you got started. And now working with composites in a number of different things, including bicycles and velomobiles?
Yes, we starting first velomobiles. We starting for Velomobile NL, for the Strada and Quest. And after we start more projects, name, but for the Stefan, we starting work on the WAF, and for the Challenger, for the Euro circuits, what have now the quad velo.
Stefan, from your point of view, how did you first encounter these folks?
Yes, I started with another company in Czech Republic, and we came here because we heard that they are producing for Velomobile NL at that time. And they started to make already parts for the WOW2. in 2013. That was
Yes,
10 years
I think
ago.
it's 10 years
And
ago.
then my Czech producer had some issues and he couldn't deliver anymore. And then I started to work exclusively with these guys, and I'm very happy because they're very good at that.
How about we take a look inside and see what you guys do? Can you tell us what we're watching here? What's going on here?
Now it's the first layup, what we're laminating here. It's the first layup of glass. We're starting. The yellow one is the Kevlar, what you see, but this all it's for the place where it must be hard. And I mean, this is all. We can see this is the inside, it's carbon. Here where it's the chain coming to more layup, it's thicker.
And this is a special epoxy that you
Yes.
use, right, to apply?
Yes, this is the special epoxy what we use for the airplanes, for the velomobiles. Yes,
Yeah.
The first layup it's from the glass. You can see all the bubbles inside where it's the. And after coming the Kevlar and the carbon on the all.
It's important that they see where there are air bubbles, and that's why they use the glass, and then they are sure that there's no air bubble left, because we work with gel coat here. Means that the first layer is contains the pigment, and we will not coat afterwards. But it's very important that no air bubble is left, otherwise after it will be used it will pop open and you would have a damaged velomobile.
Right. So what are we looking at here? The mold for a WOW?
The main part, the body part,
Okay.
but it's only half. The second half we have
Right,
in another room.
Yeah.
Yes, and
This
when
is the
it-
bottom,
yes,
and then this is the top.
when it's finished, all two parts on the all layups, we put together and screw it together and make the small part here laminating.
These guys do good work. Look at this.
Yes, good and fast.
Good and fast. Good to you. Alan, so we have some smaller parts here. What do we have?
Yes, this is the smaller parts. This one and this one. This coming to the body of WAF. This is going inside. When it's all finished and coming from the mold, we going inside where it must be stronger.
So these are like reinforcements,
Yes,
yeah?
yes, all these small parts. This is all for the WAF. These two parts, it's for the quad well.
Okay.
This one is for the chain. Here coming inside the chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know the cover for the chain.
Mm-hmm.
This two is for the wheel cover,
Wheel pants.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
and these two small parts is where you're going inside the WAF, where you have put the hands.
handle.
Coming so yes, handles. It's
You don't
where it
even
must be
think
stronger.
about that. That's really interesting. You have to do all these reinforcements. That's being worked on, and now when you're done, this
Yes.
is what you have?
Yes, this coming out from the mold, we cutting all, and this coming inside the body, we gluing with the same, with resin, and this is not too much strong, but when you're going inside, it's too hard, all these parts.
All right, Alan, so we saw the bottom half being worked on, and now this is the top.
Yes, this is the top of the mold. Here it's the same laminating, but here we include the magnet inside, the NLD magnets. It's for the when coming the cover for the head. You put on your magnets and it's
Secured with the magnets.
secure, yes. And after this finish, we have all finished and we will put together and gluing.
Okay. Oh, wow.
German bikes.
From the other bike, from the Czech Republic.
So that's for the cockpit of an airplane. And this is the windshield. Quad velo. Okay, yeah, we saw that.
Do you want to see how they are cutting this?
Yes.
It will make a lot of noise and dust, but
We want all the noise and all the dust. What are we about to see here, Alan?
Yes, this is the small the floor for the quad.
For the quad velo.
Quad velo, yes. We can see the cutting. Môžeš rezávať, áno. How finish and cutting. And after cutting, we grind all the parts where is the nails and all like this. And we will check the color if it's good, there is no scratches, and after coming to the stock. This is the finished product. There's also from inside we must, we're grinding the place, we must fill with resin, where so you can see the glass from inside, and I mean it's finished one. We will check where it's no bubbles inside and all stuff like this. When we have bubbles, we must fill with the kit and after paint.
So this is also for the quad velo.
This is the master model for the inner side of the doors for the quad velo. This one is for the lights, for the front lights.
Okay.
For the quad velo. This one is for the same for the quad velo. It's wheel cover. You can see it's when we found any issue we must
Little
repair.
chip there,
yes.
yeah. So good quality control.
Yes. We have all the parts for the VM45 in stock now.
Okay. Oh, great. One doesn't say VM45. We say, wow, don't worry. We won't touch anything. And...
Stefan, keď chceš povyprávať to tento ty radšej.
Okay, I can give an explanation here.
Guys, this is a very special opportunity to see a new development, to the VM45 that we talked to Stefan about a little while back on the show. And what's going on right here, Stefan?
Yes, so in the middle of this part, there's a master model of the central part of the VM45. And the guys here are making the molds around it. And they have already 3 sides. This is the underside. This is the left side. And the upper side is ready too. And the last part that they will do when the underside is finished is the right side. And then after they remove the molds, they can make the final products. And we are waiting for this because we want to assemble the first.
Can you give us an idea about the process here? What is this made out of? This is the stuff. This is what you make the mold from. So these are the forms, right? So how does this work? Whoever.
I mean, maybe start. Yeah. So we deliver to Alan the master model in foam. It was milled with a robot, but it was not yet ready. So I delivered that, and they finalized the model. And now you can continue.
We all grinding, and after we full all with kit, all where is the holes, when is the nose straight, the flat parts. After painting with kit, grinding, painting with kit, and after we painting with the special gel coat, what's like use on the WOW, the white one. We grinding this to the with
polishing.
Yes, to very fine polish, and after we waxing all, and now you can see what it's. And this is the gel coat. What you see from the inside the mold, this green. On this we laminating the parts. You can see from this side. I mean, finish, or this side. And when we have finished all, coming to the to the hardest operation. Put all out from this.
Yeah, so you will here start to laminate here. Yeah, I didn't get that. So this is
All this is the screw. We're coming inside all
connect.
these pins. What you see. And
So this is pretty exciting moment for you, isn't it?
yes, it is. So it's 2 years of work, and now we are close to the end. So I think next week we will be able to make the first production of sets.
yes, I mean, when all coming good, it's next week. We can see the first one.
Fingers crossed,
Yes.
everybody. This is the small warehouse of finished parts. Is that where we are right now? And we're going to take a look at some of those. Who wants to start? Stefan?
So these are a lot of parts from the VM45 which are ready. We just wait till the central part is ready, and then this can be glued in. This, for instance, is the right wheel well, and will be glued in the part, and it will also then strengthen the whole body. Yeah? And we have for each wheel we have a different wheel well that will be glued in. This is the tunnel, the central tunnel between the front wheels. Here you see, for instance, the door, the rear door, which will go open like this. So you recognize the form of the velomobile. And here we will put the lights, number plates. And this is the front fairing, the nose, how we call it, which will close the velomobile. It will be similar like the WOW. You can open it and access inside. That's the race hood, which needs still the cutoff. The cutoff we will do together with...
For the plexi
Yeah.
inside, we must, but we will see when it's all the finish, and together we will see where we cutting and put inside the plexi.
This is also reinforcement. So there are several reinforcements that we designed from the start, and once the first prototypes are ready, we will see if it's strong enough. If it needs to be reinforced on another place, we will develop that afterwards. The material used, we use on the parts where we need real stiffness, we use carbon. On parts where stiffness is not absolutely priority, we like to include Kevlar.
Kevlar with carbon, its name is hybrid.
Yeah, that's hybrid. Because Kevlar has also nice properties, it will not break that fast. So the combination is a good choice. But it's also something which we start with, and after the first prototypes, we will decide finally how we continue.
It's really interesting to see the collaboration. Not only do you make the parts for the VM45, but you talk about every detail, and then you get feedback when you start working with it, and you'll let Alan know and make changes. So it's a nice collaboration. It seems like you guys work well together, yeah?
Yes, it's too many years of the collaboration, and any improvements and any issues sometimes.
Right. But it's nice when the final product finally arrives and you see it. It's a lot of hard work.
I don't know how much is the finish of WAF, how much it's finished by us.
When you started to work at it, I think we were at number 100, 200. Yeah, the complete production of the WOW was production number 210. And now we are at 630. So 410 numbers that were exclusively produced.
Yes,
Very good.
It's a long time and a lot of work.
Yeah, well, you should be proud because from what I see, you do amazing work. And obviously, Stefan agrees with me.
So this is a complicated part of the VM45. It's the door, how you enter inside. And you see that inside there is a big reinforcement from left to right. And if you imagine it on the velomobile, then it will be like this, closed. And there is a hinge on the left side, which when you open it like this. And so you can get out from the side. Yeah?
Here, this is the wheel covers. It's for the WAF now, this part.
Oh, this is back to the
Yes,
WOW.
this is back to the WOW.
Okay.
This is the same for the WOW, it's for the mirrors, the covers. This seat we produce for the Azup company.
Mm-hmm.
This is the normal is with the glass inside. Also we make from the carbon. This is the left part from the quad velo, the main part, the body part. Yes, this is the mold after we putting out the final product. It's not cleaned now.
So, Alan, we're back to the mold here for the WOW, and looks like we've had a little assembly going on. What's happened?
Yes, we put the all the two parts together, and now we gluing together like this. It's not good work. The people must go inside.
It's difficult.
Yes, it's difficult work.
They're like in a
when
tunnel.
it's the big like me, I can go inside. Yes. This is all.
We see here number 631. It means that is the 631st WOW produced. When we took over from Belgium, we were at number 130 in 2011. It means that we are now more than 500 WOWs we produced here.
And this 631 has already been purchased, yes?
No, this is one that we make on stock. We always keep a number of white WOWs in stock. So if somebody wants to order and he doesn't want to wait long, we can really react very soon. And last order, for instance, after order till delivery, it was in Canada, was 1 month. So we can react really very fast on orders.
Nice. How are we doing in here? Hello? You okay in there? He's okay. So that was what I thought was just a fascinating tour, fellas. I thank you very much for allowing the Laid Back Bike Report to go inside and really see all the details of your hard work.
Thank you too, Gary. I'm happy that you could see it live.
Yes, I know he was happy, whatever he tried to finish saying there. All right, yeah, it was a fun tour, a great trip to Slovakia. First thing I want to mention quickly is you saw a number of mentions and parts from what Alan was calling the quad velo. Maybe you're not sure what that is. Larry, if you can pop up that screen share of mine, you can find out more about the quad velo. It's a brand new light electric vehicle, velomobile type of thing. We interviewed them at Spezi, and so if you go to our Laid Back Bike Report channel, you can find that amongst our Spezi videos and learn more about it. But all the parts that you see on the screen here, the door and the body parts, you saw there in that last video. So that's one of the things that Composite Products was working on. So the other thing was, I know that Trey wanted to talk a bit about what he saw there and his impressions of the manufacturing process. Trey?
Well, I don't even know where to start. I had preconceived notions of how I think these things are built. Like in today's world, you've got these factories in other countries that you do a basic design and then you send it to this company and they put it in a machine and it spits out a final product and mass produced and all that good stuff. So this was really good to see in that you see new world technology with the CAD drawing that we saw in the beginning and where they're doing the design work and making the model and all this stuff. And then you send it to Slovakia. And I, when we drove up, I didn't know what to expect. I'm thinking we're going to drive up to this big factory and it's going to have these machines just spitting that piece after piece after piece and stacking on a truck. But no, so you've got the new world technology of the engineering and all this stuff. And then you've got the old world craftsmen that have, from generation to generation, they pass on this knowledge and this skill that I was really amazed. They can make this piece and so much attention to detail. They make this piece by hand and every piece fits exactly as it should, or before it leaves their factory, they, chunk it or fix it. And that's what I was really impressed with. All the folks that we saw, at the factory, just wow. I was really impressed.
It wasn't a high-tech factory. It was an old fire station that they had taken over, actually, and a building next to it, so making good use of space. Joseph, did you have any impressions you wanted to share about what you saw?
Well, relating to what Trey just said, we may, in fact, see more machines being employed for these kinds of works if this was all scaled up. But after all, Stefan mentioned that over the past 10, 12 years, they've done 500 wows. That's impressive, but after all, when you compare that to the automobile industry, it's nothing. So it will remain a lot of handwork. But on the other hand, and that's the second part of it, it actually is a very delicate job to put just the right amount of carbon layers or of Kevlar layers or fiberglass layers at the right spot and apply the resin in such a way that no bubbles are left, that everywhere you have the same density of resin, so that you, in the end, you have exactly the stability that you need, the lightweight that you want, and in case of a crash, carbon fiber has one major disadvantage. If it crashes, it splinters into very sharp pieces, which can hurt you really, really bad. That's why Kevlar is applied in the area of impact, where these friction and parts could then immediately hurt the rider. And I think that's real handcraft, and that's masterpiece work. You have to have precision. You have to be consistent in the work that you do, so to be able to output one after the other in the same reliable quality that you want. And that, I think, is admirable, and it is done in Slovakia to great success. It's done in the factory in Romania, which has now become one of the big producers for so many suppliers other than Katanga. And these people do great work, and they have no century of experience with building velomobiles. These are all people who have maybe 20 years back done entirely different jobs, but they know how to work with their hands, and they seem to have the spirit that you need. That they have attention to detail, and they are able to provide a consistent and reliable quality output.
Absolutely, which is what Stefan, of course, appreciates, and the other vendors that use these products. One quick question that I saw pop up on chat, Mike Smith: will the 45 have the interchangeable nose and tail like the WOW? I thought I saw some drawings. Well, you might have noticed in that video that they actually have those separate parts. It is kind of based on how the WOW is made. So I'm not sure about interchangeable, but they will come apart for access. And that is important because it leads me to an update that I got. We're going to finish up with the VM45. If you've seen our previous show with Stefan about this light electric vehicle, we talked all about it, and now you just saw many of the composite parts for it being made. I got an update from Stefan, who, by the way, is on our live chat. So, Stefan, we're really glad you're with us here. Here's what Stefan had to say. This week, our team managed to assemble the VM45 to a level where test rides were possible. First impression is very positive, and we continue now with mounting the hatch, the race hood, lights, and locks. After that, we will do durability tests, adaptations, and finally the homologation, which I had to look up what that meant. I guess that's the regulatory approval for the product. Now, so there you see some of the shots from the arrival of and putting together of the VM45 there in Brno. And Stefan also sent us a couple of short videos of the VM45 in action. So Larry, let's play the first one. It's short. These are short. That puppy is moving along. So there you go. Now, so you see the VM45 now. There's, as Stefan says, much more work to do, but it's put together. It's running. Very interesting. So the first thing I wanted to do was to ask Joseph, who we actually had a report from Joseph a while back on the pod bike, where he traveled to see an exhibition and rode the pod bike. There are a number of other entries in this category that people are working on. And Joseph, I know you haven't ridden the VM45, but from what you've seen here today, at least, can you give us your impressions and how you think it might compare to the pod bike or anything else that you've seen?
From what I see, it's the VM45 seems to be closer to a velomobile. The pod bike tries to be very different, also with the generator concept, but with the entire design of it. And I believe what Stefan has done here is to try to avoid a number of the difficulties that the pod bike is facing with their huge hood, with the huge glass hood they're building. Now, he sticks to some of the rather well-established design principles of velomobiles, only that everything needs to be much more solid for regulatory reasons. You've seen it from how the shell looks and how strong everything is, and you have to use motor or light motorized vehicle specific parts in the drivetrain, in the wheels, in the axles, and everything. So everything, for regulatory reasons, has to be designed to some different standards, which makes the looks of the VM45 not as elegant, not as nice as a Birge velomobile, for example, and not as fancy as the pod bike. But it seems that he's probably further ahead in the development, even though the pod bike has been under development for almost 8 years. Than the Norwegians are on this. And I think this represents a rather pragmatic approach, an approach that tries to keep it as simple as possible. So this will be a machine that will take less space on the road or on the trails, for that matter, than the quad velo that we've just also seen, which is wider, which is bulkier, which is bigger. All in all, this VM45 is probably the smallest doable version of a light electric vehicle under the LEV regulatory standards.
Absolutely. Very good. Yeah. And Stefan really, I mean, that's one of the things that I think his philosophy is, to keep it simple and get it out there. Doesn't matter if you have the best product, if it never really gets to market, if you have problems in production and manufacturing, it's got to be produced. It's got to go to some sort of scale, and it's got to be something that people want to buy. So all that remains to be seen for the VM45 as well as the others, but interesting. And my money would be on Stefan being able to pull something off here. So we'll see about that. Before we finish up with the videos here, we didn't really talk too much about the Pony 4, which Trey and I got to ride while we were there in a couple of different configurations, including with the trailer. You saw us riding that. I was driving, and Trey and Lisa, his wife Lisa, were on the back and on the trailer. Trey, did you have something you wanted to tell you? What were your impressions of the Pony 4 after having ridden and ridden in the back of it?
Oh, I'm real impressed. It's matter of fact, I was more than impressed. I was kind of excited because we've been trying to find a solution for a unique situation we have here, where we would like to be able to give people that can't ride a ride. We do this on our motorcycle with a sidecar. We allow people to ride that, and they get that experience that they wouldn't normally be able to anymore. So I've been trying to figure out a way to do this, and all along I didn't realize Stefan had already come up with a solution. He's got a model where we saw 2 children riding in the back. They had a seat, so he thinks he could. I briefly mentioned it to him. He thought he could do something along those lines, or we could figure out something. So and again, the skill with which they put this together, everything is where it needs to be. The fit and finish was excellent. That you can just tell it's a good quality build. I was very impressed, especially being there, seeing them putting one together and getting to ride it and all that stuff. And then you add on the versatility of, I don't know what he calls, I call it the fifth wheel trailer. It's had a single mount point in the back of the cargo section with one arm that comes up and goes down. Just like in the US, we have fifth wheel trailers. It's easier to turn and to pull. It's more maneuverable than the standard attachment that you have with a regular trailer. You know, they usually attach to the center wheel pin with some, you know, which there's a couple of different mounts, but the end point result is the majority are attached to one side of the wheel. They come out in a U shape, and so you're limited to how you can turn. That's removed with the design that Stefan has put on his, in that I think you can do a 90-degree turn. I mean, it's very versatile. I'm sure you can tell him I was really excited about it. I thought that was really, really cool.
Okay. All right. I think we will leave it there then. I think we've done a good job of showing what we saw there. Very impressed, as you guys can see, with everything that was done at Katanga and Composite Products. So thank you to both those great companies for showing us around. And at that, we will move along here to our next segment. So this is all about a brand new trike from HP Velotechnik. And the surprise is about to be revealed. Larry, let's have a look. We are here with my pal Heiko Trappel from Germany. Heiko, how are you doing today?
Thank you, Gary. I'm fine. I hope you was well as well.
I am well as well. Let's talk about some interesting goings-ons at HP that you can update us on since the last time we talked, which was at Spezi. My understanding is that you have a new trike called the DeltaTx, and I'm wondering, what's the story behind this?
Yes, that's right. We have two things which are quite new to HP Velotechnik. The first is a trike with two wheels in the back. We are known for tadpole trikes. So this is the first, as you see in the picture. This is Paul Holland, my boss, one of the founders, and he's sitting on the DeltaTx, which is some kind of, we call it the chopper e-trike with two wheels in the back, which is quite new for HP Velotechnik.
Tell us the story behind this. Why in the world did HP decide to put together two wheels in the back and one in the front?
Yeah, actually, we are. Our aim is not to sell trikes, which or bikes and trikes, which we think are the best, but we want to offer cycles that are the best for each individual customer. And so we knew the concept of trikes with two wheels in the back, with a higher seating position. Of course, we didn't invent this totally, but we thought, we've been test riding them. We know them from the Spezi. We've been on the Spezi since the first year of the Spezi, and always observed the market, observed innovations, and yeah, we thought this concept, this configuration with two wheels in the back, has potential to be better, to be HP style. And so our engineers tried and tested.
Tell me why it's called the DeltaTx.
The TX is is a bit difficult to explain because T stands for separable. In German, T stands for teilbar, and teilbar just means separable. And the thing with the DeltaTx is that you can separate it into two parts. The X in HP logic corresponds a bit to not full suspense. So the DeltaTx has a suspension in the rear, but no suspension in the front, which is just not necessary. So the TX means separable and only suspensed in the back.
Who do you foresee as the typical customer for this new configuration?
Yes, actually, in the slide you right now you see us in front of the Eurobike or the Frankfurt fairground, where in 2 weeks the Eurobike trade fair will happen, the Eurobike bike show, the biggest bike show in the world, where we will first present the DeltaTx live. And we are just living in front of Frankfurt, or in the outskirts of Frankfurt. And so we went there for a photo shooting. And originally, we considered the trike to be a trike for we called it Generation Comfort, which we thought would be an older audience. And so we had older senior models with us and went there. And while we were photo shooting, there were young people cheering and saying, "Wow, this is cool, this is cool." And of course, we also had very much fun riding the trike. And they see a picture from a later shooting, because we found out that this chopper e-trike is not limited to an older generation, but all generations are Generation Comfort. So you can take the trike for getting out to the lake with your picnic utensils and picnic equipment or sports equipment. And yes, so this trike is not limited. Every generation is a Generation Comfort.
Let me ask about the Delta formation, the two in the back, one in the front, versus the tadpole, two in the front, one in the back. Why would one choose one of these configurations over the other now that you are manufacturing both?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, HP Velotechnik is known for tadpole trikes, the Scorpion or the Gecko series. Nobody ever heard us talking about tadpole is the best. Tadpole is the best for a certain range of use. So tadpoles have advantages if you brake in curves. So if you're riding very sporty and have to be very active, it can give you stability. You see the broadest part of the trike always, so you have full control. But of course, the configuration with two wheels in the back also have advantages. Like, do you have space for a luggage carrier, which we'll see later on. And so we were always open for other concepts. Of course, we have lots of experience with tadpole trikes, but this was never a limitation for HP Velotechnik, because we want to listen to consumers' needs. And many dealers talk to us about what consumers wish. And of course, there's a certain audience for which we think a trike like the Delta trike can be the best, because there is not the best trike for all. There's a best trike for an individual customer, but not that one trike fits all. And so of course we opened up, or it looks like we opened up, but actually we've always been open, and we've always been engineering, we've always been testing with certain concepts or certain configurations. And yes, now I see a result which is different from the Scorpion or the Gecko series, but which we think can be the best trike for a part of customers, or maybe customers which haven't been HP Velotechnik customers in the past, but in the future can be.
So tell us about the DeltaTx.
Yes, as you see, We have a frame consisting of quite voluminous tubes, but the trike is very, very light. We come up to the base configuration starts at 70 pounds, 32 kilograms. You have to see that only the motor system, because the DeltaTx always comes with a motor system. The motor system alone is about 9 kilograms. So the rest of the trike is just 20 kilograms. For a trike with 3 wheels, this is considerably light. So we are one of the lightest trikes of this kind in the market. It always comes with a motor. It always comes with a lighting system. You can choose from our mesh seats, so the Ergomesh or Ergomesh Premium, which is even more adjustable, are available for the DeltaTx. And the seat is sitting on a rail, so you can move it back or forward very easily. You just open a quick release and slide the seat. It's for people from 159 meters, which is quite small, up to 2 meters and 5. See, we try to make the DeltaTx a real HP Velotechnik trike. Also in the details, you find the badge, you find design elements, you find components. Same with our usual trikes. We try to mostly use standard components. The trike can be maintained as good as any HP Velotechnik tadpole trike. And as you see, you can separate the trike, which is quite unique. I know there's a little company which also makes a trike of this configuration, which is separable, but it's a bit different. But usually these trikes are not separable. As I said, the T stands for teilbar. You see in the front part has the motor and the battery, and the back part has almost the same weight, so you can handle both parts quite well. It's not as quickly foldable, or the Gecko FX models can be folded in just 10 seconds. The Scorpions can be folded in a minute. So with the DeltaTx, we are talking about 3 minutes. So it's still just a question of minutes. So not for just storing it in the corner of your apartment, but of course, if you want to transport it by car or even in a train, it's just a matter of minutes to separate the parts. Yes. On this slide, we see the rails. You see the little blue quick release. What we also see is the rear suspension, and this one is the standard suspension with a steel spring. Of course, we also have the RockShox Monarch, so the S-spring damper, which is a bit more adjustable than this standard spring, which also works, of course. Yes. Very interesting on the DeltaTx is usually on Delta trikes we have a rigid axle, which is bad because both wheels have to run in the same velocity, which is bad in curves because the outer wheel in a curve has to move faster. And usually this problem is solved with a differential. The problem with the differential is it's heavy, and it's you need maintenance. And one thing, if the wheel which is driven by the differential has no grip anymore and is going through, the differential will put all the force onto this wheel without grip. So it's impossible to move forward on very, very loose soil. And we wanted a simpler solution, and the simple solution consists of 2 free wheels on the axle. The free wheels make it possible that only the inner wheel in a curve, so the inner wheel, if you're riding a curve, only the inner wheel gets the full power, and so you don't have any scrubbing. Yeah, so you have a very controlled power, and with a simple and very, very, very light system. So we just wondered why nobody has built it this way before, because the solution is simple, but as it is often with simple solutions, they are the hardest to find. The nice thing about the DeltaTx is we said we wanted to make a comfort trike, and comfort in these days means automatic shifting. And in this case, we have the Enviolo shifting. We will offer the Q's DI2 shifting. I think we have another automatic shifting, but now let me lie. So the Enviolo is really, really nice. We liked it all. I think you have been riding it as well. And so on the next slide, for friends of manual shifting, of course, we have classics like the roll-off speed hub or derailleur shiftings, which can be shifted manually. There you see the Bafang motor. As I said, the Bafang motor comes exclusively with the DeltaTx at HP Velotechnik. We are, yes, very interested to collect experience with this motor. I think many of you already know it. Meanwhile, it's quite an established system. The Bafang M300 will be the base configuration motor system. We will also offer it in the special edition, which we talk about in the end. And there we see the Shimano EP8 Cargo, which is a top model of the Shimano line at HP Velotechnik. We have, beside the Bafang motor, we have 3 Shimano systems on the DeltaTx, so E5000, steps E5000, steps E6100, and the top model steps Shimano steps Cargo EP8, which is the strongest version of the Shimano steps series. See on the cockpit, on the chopper handlebars, you have, like you are used, all the controls and the display just handy in reach of your thumbs. So we have a lot of accessories, of course, which is also a philosophy of HP Velotechnik, that you can configure any bike or trike to your individual needs. There we see a frame lock. We have fenders, which you see here. All of the DeltaTx, because they are E-assisted, all come with a light. This one is the IQXS friendly. So this is the base light. You can upgrade to the IQX from Busch & Müller as well. And you can even have the wing blink. So this is the turn indicator, which you see above the rear light. So you can equip the DeltaTx with a lot of gimmicks or nice to have things. Nice to have is also the rear carrier. The rear carrier comes also with a basket. It can take up to 25 kilograms, which is, or let me lie, 55 pounds, I think. And you see it with a basket here, which is part of the option. And if you take out the basket, you can even carry boxes for water or beer. Yeah, we also saw the high seat. The seats are available in two heights and two widths. So you can choose like you feel most comfortable on the DeltaTx as well. Okay, go ahead. As I said, we will also offer a special edition. Special edition is known from the Scorpion series. Special edition means it's pre-configured configurations. In this case, including fenders, a headrest, a mirror, the rear carrier rack, and so on. And the special edition always has a bit of a price advantage. I guess you want to know about the prices for the DeltaTx. The DeltaTx will start at $6,920 in the base configuration. The base configuration, as I said, already has a motor system, already has a lighting system, and a comfortable seat, of course. And the special edition will come at $8,750.
When do you anticipate they will be available in Europe and in North America?
We'll start to sell the trike in early 2024. So keep your eyes open. Ask your dealer. You can find your closest dealer on our website as usual. And yes, early 2024, the DeltaTx will be available.
All right. Well, that's a great rundown. Let's, if we can, Heiko, talk about what else is going on at HP that you might want to share with our audience, maybe especially our North American audience?
Yes, thank you for asking. Of course, if you can't wait, we always had a special offer for the US market, which is the Gecko US edition. Gecko US edition means Gecko trikes with a very, very, very short delivery time, with packages which have a significant price advantage. So on a webpage, you will find a menu point Gecko US edition, where you find these trikes. They haven't been available for quite a long time, and in the beginning of this year, we could supply them again. So if you want to ride now, if you want to start into the season right now with a very attractive model, the Gecko US edition is the choice. And right now, as a limited offer, because the Gecko US edition is exclusively offered for the US market, and right now you even have an advantage by a limited offer. If you buy a Gecko 26 or Gecko FX26 Performance trike, Performance is one of the configurations available for the Gecko US edition. You can have a comfort kit for free, which is 370 euros if you would buy the items as an option extra. So you will get a headrest and a handrest, and a headrest, handrests, and a flag for free if you order a Gecko Performance trike. And as I said, this is 377 euros, which you can save if you order a Gecko Performance trike until the 18th of June.
Something that you had mentioned to me when we talked at Spezi was this emphasis that HP has now on getting consumer feedback and perhaps implementing some of the ideas from the folks out there. What's going on with that?
To consumers, to riders, if you have wishes, if you have ideas, HP Velotechnik is always open, is always wanting your feedback. And so get in touch with us by mail, by Facebook, or wherever. And or of course, talk to your dealer and ask him to get in touch with us. If you miss something, if you have a wish, if you have a dream, let us know.
All right.
We want to communicate with you.
Sounds great, Heiko. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing this really interesting information about the new DeltaTx trike and the update on HP. Heiko, thanks for joining us on a Laid Back Bike Report once again.
Thank you that I could be here and have happy and safe rides out there.
All right. So, guys, lots of really good questions on the live chat. Unfortunately, Heiko couldn't be with us today. I tried to contact him to see if he could join the live chat, but I've not been able to do that. So I will get a hold of him as soon as possible, and we'll put those comments in the YouTube comments below so that we will be able to answer some of those really good questions about the DeltaTx. Now, we have a resident Delta rider on the show. It's Trey. And Trey, what are your thoughts on what you saw about the DeltaTx?
Well, first off, it's kind of exciting times. All these new models coming out. We're broadening what we can present to the public. You know, they'll be able to see and ride so many different variations of bikes. But to the Delta, I think it's exciting. We do have a Delta trike from another manufacturer, and there are some things, like he said, generational comfort. It's, in my experience, I've seen that it is easier to get on a Delta trike than it is a tadpole trike for people with mobility issues. It sits a little bit higher off the ground. The turning radius, at least the one we have, I haven't had to look at the specs on the HP one yet, but the one we have, you can literally turn around in its own. You could make a circle, 360 right there without going outside of any additional length. Versus a tadpole, you have to, kind of do a 3-point turn to get around in a tight circle. That's a very big advantage. The other advantage is, like he was mentioning with the differential, the traction on the Delta seems to be so much better because of the design. Your weight is over the rear wheels, so you have more traction than you would on a tadpole, which has a single wheel. Not saying that the tadpoles are not worthy of, off-roading and things like that. We've seen dozens of examples of people riding them, but in my experience, they're good. But the Delta with a differential, like Heiko was mentioning, is just better. It's there. I mean, if you ride them back to back, you'll see for yourself, and that's kind of an exciting thing. I like the fact that they have the cargo in the back. This opens up a whole new world to folks that are like we just saw when we were in Europe riding around. You get on these small streets, there's a ton of people riding bikes, and they're going to the grocery store, and I saw many people riding a regular bike carrying 3 bags in each arm, trying to balance it on the handlebars, that are trying to put it in a backpack or some other, panniers and all this stuff. But this is, this gives you a lot more capacity. And now that we've been exposed to that in Europe, I can see where that would be a huge advantage in that environment. I don't know how much it'd be here for a lot of places, but in towns, I can see this being a really popular option for most folks.
Absolutely. And just so that everyone knows, I don't think you have to dance around it. What is the Delta trike that you guys have?
We have a Honza Weasel. It's and it's a great bike in its own right. It's I'm very impressed with it, and that's actually my wife's bike, Lisa. She rides that bike, and I try to steal rides on it when she lets me, but that's hard to do.
Imagine knowing Lisa. All right. Well, thanks, Trey. Let's now move on then to another good friend of Trey and myself out in Portland. It's Mel Birge. And Mel and Janet, his wife, own Recumbent PDX. They are sponsors of the show, but we've been wanting for a very long time to do a profile of the shop. And Mel was kind enough to send us some video. I had a little chance to sit down virtually with him. So Larry, let's see what Recumbent PDX is all about.
This is for Gary. Hi, Gary. Hi, friends of Laidback Bike Report. So excited to have you here, Portland, Oregon, West Coast, Catrack Megastore, Recumbent PDX. before every test ride, do our test ride form, put on a helmet, get flags on the trike, and review safety. Here we are in Southeast Portland, Lads Edition neighborhood, one of our 4 rose gardens in bloom. So fragrant, I wish you could be here as often as I can. I really enjoy taking customers out on test rides, coming into our Lads Edition neighborhood, enjoying the gardens and the homes and a very quiet bike-oriented community. When we're riding, I can reinforce safety, answer any questions you have, and watch to make sure you're smiling, because that's what I want to see, a big smile as you feel the wind in your face and enjoy pedaling, whether it's pedaling for the first time or just a new way to pedal after a life of cycling. Do check out the website. Mel has put so much information, so much thought and expertise into the website, which will give you inspiration and information about becoming a triker. So Todd, what do you think? How was your ride? So you've been a bike commuter here in town, considering a more comfortable way to ride?
Absolutely, yeah.
We had a great ride over the Telecom, and now we're gonna head back to the shop. Thanks for going on that ride with us. That was a lot of fun. Todd has made his selection. You'll see him riding around town on a candy purple Catrek 559, commuting from Northeast over to OHSU. When you come into the shop, I'll show you all of the models we have, the demos, talk about features, and then the best part is to go out on the test ride into our Lads Edition neighborhood, around the Rose Gardens, and maybe over the Telecom or up Mount Tabor. Test riding is just the best way to see if you get that triker's grin, and if having a trike is something in your future to become a cyclist for the first time, or to just change up how you're a cyclist. If you are watching this from parts across the country and out of our region, we will suggest that you go and find your nearest contract dealer, go and do a lot of test rides and see what's right for you. We do not have any online sales or phone order sales, because we are an in-person shop only. So sorry if you're watching this from far away, but for those of you in the Northwest, we really look forward to seeing you here in the shop at Recumbent PDX. Call and schedule an appointment.
All right, guys, we are here with Mel Birge at Recumbent PDX in Portland. And you guys just saw the amazing video that his wife Janet did. And now we're going to talk to Mel himself. Mel himself, how are you?
Himself is doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Very nice to see you once again. Mel, we want to delve briefly into your history, but let's restrict it to your recumbent history if possible. How did you first get involved with recumbents?
I had 11 bikes, and I just started all the stuff that, we see here in the shop started with me. It's all the age-related issues. In my case, it was my back went bad on me, and it felt like somebody was putting an electric cattle prod to my back, and I knew at one point I was going to catch it so bad that I was literally going to fall off my bike in traffic. So one day I went out and I bought one of those, what are they called? Recumbent bikes. So I got a recumbent bike. I went riding with my buddies and they're all like, so you bought a recumbent bike? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, put their hand on my shoulder. So you bought a recumbent bike? And I'm like, what's the deal? And they're like, no, looks good on you. You're well suited for it. In 2011, Janet and I escaped Chicago, moved to Portland, spent a year or two playing. And then, if I'm too young and too poor to be retired, so we bought a business. And this is the business that we bought. And we took over what had been Coventry Cycle Works, purchased the assets at the end of 2014, opened in May of 2015. So this is now our 9th year.
So let's, if we could take a look at the shop. We have some video. Here we go.
That's mechanic Paul. He's saying, hi, Gary, but you muted that, so you can't hear that. That's mechanic Jack, who's doing a oil change on a roll-off. And we zoom out, you can hear Jack saying, "No, I will not say hello, Gary." We are a huge fan of TerraCycle, which is here in town. Everybody who knows TerraCycle, they have the best parts. That's the trike for us. So in the basement, we've probably right now got about 90 trikes hanging. We've got about, as the caption says, 140 motor kits. So right now we've got about 40 of the Bosch, and we've got about 100 of the Bafangs in stock. We probably buy, I don't know, 400 or 500 tires a year from Schwabe, and obviously tubes as well. That's a fun thing. I know we'll come off of it in a second, but that's a demo trike that we've built for people who are living principally with hemiparesis from stroke. So it's got a single pole hydraulic brake. You'll see that in a moment. In this case, you're seeing the electronic Shimano Di2. And we can discuss this a little bit more further after the video, but getting people up for demo rides, that is pretty much 100% of what our business revolves around. There we see the shop floor. Some great drone video work that I did. As you know, Gary, I am an absolute expert flying drones. It's probably, not more than a couple people on the planet that are better at it than I. So that's our demo floor. Everything you see there is a demo. The inventory that we can't fit in the basement, we hang on the walls, the ceilings, and then we've got a third floor there, and upstairs here at the shop that's got another, 30 or 40 built trikes ready to go out the door.
And you are an expert drone pilot, as I can attest. Some beautiful work here, Mel, and showing the showroom. And yeah, I've seen you fly. It's a wonder to behold. Here you go. Here's a little demonstration. Right. And so, Mel,
I got to tell you something. There are very few other drone pilots who could have pulled that move off.
No, I totally agree with that. It was an upsetting video. And the viewers were upset, and so was the drone. All right, let's move along if we can. I think one of the things that is most notable about Recumbent PDX is that you only sell cat trikes. You are a cat trike exclusive dealer. What is that about?
Well, a couple things to note. We do have a couple other, in tiny quantities, a couple other brands, all of which we are happy to offer to customers when it's appropriate. But I can tell you that in terms of cat trike, when I say to people about cat trike is not only the only trike built in America. Cat trike is, Milo likes the armrest. Cat trike's the only brand that actually manufactures trikes, and that is from the least expensive to the most expensive. Cat trike's the only company that actually builds trikes. They build them in Florida. You've been to their factory. You've done a fabulous video, which I've linked to more times than I can count. So thank you for that, Gary. It's just fantastic trike. Everything's built by hand. Everything's built on the same line. Cat trike uses the Toyota production model, which is very, very lean manufacturing. And what's most important about it, from our perspective, is that they have zero changeover time, which is a Toyota thing that allows you to change from one model to another, which means that you can balance your line by running lots of different trikes, or in the case of Toyota, lots of different models down the same production line. Why that becomes important to customers is that I'm able to say to people, we don't care which cat trike you buy. People say, which one is the best cat trike? And they'll point at the Dumont. And I'll say, well, the Dumont's the most expensive. But every single cat trike is of absolutely equivalent quality. They're all built on the same line. They're all built by the same craftsman. Interestingly enough, both Janet and I ride the Expedition. Janet rides the Pocket. The Pocket is the least expensive of all the cat trikes. And the Expedition is the second least expensive, along with the Villager. We could ride anything in the store, right? But the two of us naturally gravitate to them, and I can tell you they're fabulous. And that makes me feel good as a as a vendor to be able to say to people, doesn't matter which along the product line you purchase, you're getting exactly the same phenomenal level of quality. I can also tell you that this being our 9th year, we have sold over 1,000 cat trikes, over 1,000, and we have never had a customer warranty issue on one of them. And so you ask why we like cat trike? Because cat trike makes the best product in our opinion. And we absolutely love doing business with them. They are a fantastic company to do business with.
It must be the case that you find that the breadth of their line satisfies everything that your customers could want.
No, it doesn't. It's very, very close. So there are circumstances where people will come into the store. And one of the things about we'll use this as an example. When we first brought in the Dumont, was that 2016? And at the time, we repped 3 other companies that all had suspension trikes. And I said to Mark Eglin how excited I was to take it out. We were going to do this really, really rough ride over big boulders and stuff like that. And I said to Marco, we're going to take the Dumont on that. And his response was, don't. It won't show up well. And I said, why is that? He said, because we didn't design what the others designed, right? We designed a suspension designed for road riding, right? It'll take the chip seal out of the road. It'll make a rails to trails line really comfortable. But if your goal is to go bombing down fire roads, it's not going to show well. We have competitors who have 40 plus millimeters of travel in their front suspension. For that sort of riding, our competitors' trikes are fantastic. So I have people who come in who say, I want to go mountain biking with my family, and they describe what they want to do. And I'm like, we don't have it for you. And that's okay, right? I mean, if you were to ask Janet that specific question, she would say, we will talk chapter and verse about all the ways in which cat trike is the best trike made. But the trike that is the right trike for you is the one that you're going to ride and the one that you're going to love.
You have a brick and mortar store in Portland, Oregon, and known worldwide as a biking city. Not that many cities in the U.S. are, but Portland certainly is. Tell me how that plays into your business and what you do there. How is being in Portland important to you?
Interesting question, because obviously I've never done business in Chicago or Birmingham or Savannah or Atlanta or whatever, but at least here in Portland, I mean, we've got fabulous bike infrastructure, and that's certainly great for test rides. There are a lot of, you can walk out our door. We've got Lads Edition. You've got Mount Tabor. You've got the Tillicum Bridge. Again, I think these are all rides that you and I have done together. And one of the things that I find interesting is our geographic draw. So when we started the business, I would say probably 70% of our customers were beyond 50 miles from our shop. And I would say now probably Portland metro area is approaching 50%. So we see a lot more people locally than we did, which was obviously very important to us. But we have customers coming from all over Washington, Montana, Northern California, Alaska, Hawaii.
I know that you guys do a number of store-sponsored rides. Tell us about that.
It's just an opportunity. It's two things. Number one, it's an opportunity for people to get out on their trikes and do some riding, and more important, they become social events. So for a lot of our rides, we're partnering with the local Recumbent Club, which our mechanic Paul, who you saw in the video, is the wagon master for, and it's an opportunity to bring people in, to bring them into the triking community, and also to meet other trikers. So hey Mark. This is Terry. You guys both live out in the Hillsborough region. So now you're two triking buddies and you can go riding together out in Hillsborough. So it's just a fun way to get people together. Rides that we do, like this summer, we're doing a series of pizza rides where we do a ride and then we meet at a different pizza place, and Recumbent PDX picks up the first 5 pies. So we're doing those on Wednesday nights. We're also doing a series of motor kit rides because more and more of our riders have motor kits. And if you think about the sort of riding you did before you had a motor kit, we have Council Crest here in Portland. It's an 1,100 foot climb. Before you had a motor, you never thought about going up there. So we're like, hey, you've got a motor, you can go anywhere. So we do a ride up to Council Crest. This past weekend, we did a ride that Mechanic Paul led that went down to basically down and up the trolley trail.
Let's talk about something that Janet brought up in the previous video, and that's your website. So folks can go to your website. I hope they will and see what you've done. But I want to kind of talk to you briefly about your philosophy. What did you have in mind when you redid this website not too long ago, and what's your plan for it?
The website is just kind of to the best of my ability to replicate the triking experience. So, our website's designed to present triking as a lifestyle, and having a series of videos. There goes Milo. Bye, Milo. Really, the goal for the website is for, number one, like I said, to simulate the lifestyle so people can see videos of our customers out on rides. We've got sections specifically dealing with folks who are riding with limitations, whether it's ataxia, MS, Parkinson's, amputations, fill in the blank, so that people watching those can look at that and say, if he can do it, if she can do it, I can do it. I can see myself doing that. And that's really important to us, for people to be able to imagine themselves on a trike riding. So that's kind of what the adaptive trikes are about, portion is about.
And then lots of video tutorials, right?
Yeah, it's just a lot of the video tutorials are basically designed to help people keep their cat trikes running the way they should be. So we're constantly adding new videos, and some of them are kind of silly. A lot of our customers have a lot of angst around flat fixes, right? Around flat tires. And so why aren't you riding? Well, I don't want to go out and get a flat. Okay, well then let's kind of break it down, not in a go get the following tools and fix your flat, but all the way down to sliding it under, and putting this particular piece in and actually going line by line, so that people understand exactly how to change a flat, because a lot of our customers have never changed flats. And so it creates a lot of angst, and anything that creates friction prevents our customers from riding. It prevents them from fully enjoying that trike that they've bought. And we don't want that. We want them getting the full enjoyment. So I did the motor kit videos, both the comparison on the Bafang and Bosch, and also we have video owner's manuals for both the Bosch and the Bafang.
Where do you see Recumbent PDX going in the next year or two? Do you have some plans for expansion, new lines, sticking with what you're doing, expanding your kitchen? What is in the cards for Recumbent PDX?
Funny you should mention that. We're doing a big kitchen renovation on our little kitchen here at the shop. Seriously, I'll send you pictures. It's going to be beautiful when we're done. And that's kind of it. I mean, my late father-in-law sent me, this was 30 years ago, the best business advice he ever sent me. What he claimed was, and Janet's dad was the smartest guy I ever knew. He sent me a paper from a guy named JBS Haldane, who was a Nobel Prize winning biologist. And the paper was called On Being the Right Size. And basically what he said was, in order to thrive, an organization has to be the right size. That's why horses, dinosaurs, whales, mice behave in different environments. And I feel like we're the right size. We're a size that we love to be. We can have customers come in, they can get our personal attention. And so I don't see a lot of change for us. I think we like things the way we are. We like the product line that we have. We love Cat Trike, and we love being able to get directly in front of customers. So I don't see big changes in our future.
That's a perfect way, though, I think, to wrap it up there, Mel. So you're the perfect size. I love that. So, all right. Well, Mel, you and Janet are good friends. Always love talking to you both. Thanks to both of you for putting together the video, and always a great time spending an afternoon, an evening. Although it was only going to be 10 minutes, it's always at least an afternoon or an evening. So thanks, Mel, and we'll see you around. Yep. Mel and Janet Birge, great folks, great shop, Recumbent PDX. Guys, I just wanted to remind you that if you have something you'd like to share on the Laid Back Bike Report, we do have a viewer submissions segment, and you want to send what you have, pictures or a little bit of text about a ride you've done or an event or something you've accomplished, you can certainly do that and send it to laidbackbikereport@gmail.com. And now let's have our final thanks to the amazing sponsors of the Laid Back Bike Report, who are TerraCycle. Are you tired of feeling like your bent was made for someone else? TerraCycle's handlebars and stems allow you to customize your ride so you can feel like the superstar you are, even if you ride like a turtle. And Trailside Trikes. If you find yourself in Florida near the Withlacoochee Trail or in Knoxville, Tennessee, check out Andrew's shop and his amazing crew. And TerraTrike and Greenspeed Trikes. Your vision, whatever it is, TerraTrike has a trike to take you there. And Greenspeed cutting-edge designs create performance through Aussie ingenuity. And Laid Back Cycles, the top USA dealer for TerraTrike and the premier source for Cat Trike, Ice, and Greenspeed. We give you the freedom to ride. And Avenue Trikes. With the gearing you need and the comfort you want, it's time to enjoy riding again. They're in stock, ready to ship, and only $19.95. Dealer inquiries are welcome. And AZUB. As part of our transition to a new generation of motors, we are offering quality, proven, and reliable Shimano Steps E6100 motors at an amazing discount of 1,000 euros or dollars. So for the price of a no-named e-assist, you get a very good factory-installed motor. Take advantage of this limited opportunity and contact one of our 80 AZUB dealers around the world. And Recumbent PDX, Cat Trike's West Coast Megastore. Schedule your test ride on trikes with pedal assist electric from both Bosch and Bafang, roll-off and slump component groups, and adaptive builds. Experience the joy of Cat Trike. And EcoCycles. Adding e-assist to your bent can be a daunting task. With total focus on customer service, the experts at EcoCycles make this upgrade simple and worry-free. Check out EcoCycles today. All right, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. The announcements I have. As I mentioned earlier, our Spetsy videos are now complete. We have all of them posted on a playlist separately, and I've just finished up the collection video, which has a bunch of bonus footage in it. The alphabetical listing of the interviews, the bonus footage consists of intros and credits at the end, the outtakes. We have some test track footage, drone and otherwise, some really interesting stuff in there. So check that all out. And the next Laid Back Bike Report is going to be July 9th, and it will be, of course, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as always. And what we're working on is the video of our AZUB tour. and some wonderful trike riding that we did while we were in the Czech Republic with Honza. So we look forward to putting that together. And hopefully I'll have a report on that Waterford, Michigan HPV race that is happening this weekend. Now, how can you support the Laid Back Bike Report? Well, you can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can click that little white eye, which will take you to the laidbackbikereport.com website, where you can learn so much more and perhaps become a Patreon supporter like all these folks are. We really appreciate our Patreon monthly supporters. So do that if that makes sense for you. We appreciate it. All right, let's see who's left here. I know Joseph had to leave. It was getting late there in Europe. So yeah, Trey, thanks for all your all of your contributions today. It was interesting to hear your point of view on a lot of these things. So thank you. And Larry, great job on directing as always. So thank you, guys. Let's finish it up then by thanking all of you wonderful folks who watch us every month. We really appreciate that. So until our next webcast, from all of us here at the Laid Back Bike Report, so long, Bent Riders.